Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back as we're going to discuss the Taurus Lunar Eclipse happening on October 28th, 2023 at 4:25 p.m. That's Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. This is our last Taurus eclipse in the Taurus Scorpio axis. And the eclipse is happening at 5 degrees of Taurus in your chart. So you would identify where this degree point is for you by house. And here it's the first house. I do have a separate tutorial video for you on YouTube showing you how to find a degree point in your chart if you need assistance. So this is a full moon that is illuminating something important in the Taurus energies and themes for you by house placement. This also means that the moon is exactly opposite the sun, which is over here at 5 degrees of Scorpio in the opposite house. So every full moon is about these two areas in your life being highlighted and illuminated and looking at not only the balance, but what needs to be rectified, what needs to be better managed, what needs to be seen in this part of your world. Now, Taurus and Scorpio energies are both about finances, money, the money you owe, the money you need to pay off, where you have liabilities, debts, joint investments. That's Scorpio. The money that you share with other people, this is similar to your landlord owning a property and you're paying rent. That is Scorpio. This is also connected to banking, financial institutions, your credit card bills, all of that. And then Taurus is the energy of the money you make, what's in your possession, what's in your bank account, what you accumulate and own, and how that supports you to live your life. So a big highlight here on the financial energies. Now we also have a focus here on what you are actualizing around self-worth as we close out the Taurus eclipse cycle. What has come up for you over the past year and a half around your values, what matters to you, what is significant, what you want to strengthen. And that is always one of the energies of Taurus. It's the stability and self-reliance. It's what you can handle on your own. And this can be a lunar eclipse that shows you how far you've come, what you have managed well as what else is requiring your time, energy, and attention. The earth signs are always about practical matters, where we're responsible, what we need to take care of, where we need to have a plan, or where we need to understand what will get us from point A to point B. There's always a logical reasoning with earth signs. There's always a reality check as well. And so this is a Taurus lunar eclipse that wants to highlight for you what might still require changes, what is still coming up that you need to take care of or manage. And one thing that's really beautiful about this particular lunar eclipse is that it is conjunct Jupiter, 11 degrees retrograde, which means Jupiter is moving back, and in fact, it will travel back to 5 degrees of Taurus, the middle of December. It will station direct December 31st and still be at this degree point through the middle of January 2024. So what this means is that Jupiter is supportive. Jupiter is opportunities, resources showing up, invitations. It's helping you. It is the energy of even benevolence, what you have been working for that now arrives, what manifests. And I feel like this is an important timeline with this lunar eclipse, is that whatever is coming up for you at the end of October, when Jupiter gets here the middle of December, is going to amplify the intentions, changes, energies in this part of your chart. And Jupiter was here previously at 5 degrees of Taurus. This is also a degree point where Mercury was retrograde earlier this year in Taurus. So 5 degrees of Taurus has actually been quite active throughout 2023, and it ends on a high note as Jupiter gets here again about December 15th until January 15th, hanging out here. And it's supporting you in what you're ready to build, grow, develop. And Taurus being the first earth sign in the zodiac wheel, it's foundational. And it's understanding what you are worthy of, because that's where your self-worth frequency is. We've been doing a lot of reprogramming, rewiring with our self-love, what we believe we are worthy of in all areas of our life. Because foundationally, that's the energy that basically puts things in motion. Where if you know you're worthy of doing a job you love, making good money, feeling like you're just joyful and happy every day. It doesn't feel like work. It just feels like something you get to do that supports your livelihood. That is part of your self-worth, where you're like, I deserve to live this way. I deserve to live with peace and harmony in my energy field. And so this could be checking in. Is that where your sense of self is at? Is that the frequency you're really embodying? Because Jupiter wants to help light that up, make it bigger, make it clearer. And there could be some things that you've been realizing about the Taurus areas of your life that you're ready for the upgrade. You're ready for more. And Jupiter will bring in more. Now, we also have over here in the Taurus areas of your chart, Team Taurus, we have Uranus at 21 degrees Taurus retrograde, traveling back to 19 degrees, where Uranus will station direct in January. And so we have both of these big players in the Taurus areas of your chart, in addition to this lunar eclipse, really asking you to look at what you own. And I mean energetically. I mean in terms of how you own your self-love, how you own your creativity, how you own your values, what matters to you. This is what no one can take away from you. This is where that Taurus energy grounds in, locks in, stabilizes, and says, this is me, and no one can budge me. No one can move this boulder. And so yes, there is a stubbornness that we identify with Taurus, but it's a strength as well. So we've been working actively on strengthening these Taurus areas of your chart so that you are more self-sufficient in your energy field and what you are manifesting, what you are really living from. Okay, so this is important to understand, because now we go over here to Scorpio. And you can see that not only do we have that sun at 5 degrees of Scorpio, but here we have Mercury and Mars conjunct in Scorpio, and they're both opposing this Jupiter. So we have a powerful team Scorpio. And this is what you, as I mentioned, what you owe, what you have to pay off, what you share with others. This can be debt, but also in Scorpio, it's where you then start to invest, and the energy can be actually very wealthy. The energy can be quite abundant when you have mastered the responsibility of joint ownership of things that you're sharing, and what is true for you, what is right for you. Now, the Scorpio energy is also where we interact with other people, and we can absorb and take on what they're feeling, what they're sensing. This is a very intuitive energy, very energetically aware at what is not being said or spoken, but picks up the vibes, and it can be quite psychic as well. And when I see this Mercury and Mars, you can see how Mercury is just behind Mars, and Mercury is the younger brother, Mars is the older brother. Mars is very much in charge in his power in Scorpio. He is really taking control of a situation, and you can see that this Mars is leading, has been in front of Mercury, in front of the Sun, and in front of Venus. Well, Mercury is soon going to be conjunct Mars and move in front of Mars, But this conjunction can be one of anger. It can be quite ruthless, quite aware of what it wants. It's actually important to be aware of what you say whenever this Mercury is conjunct Mars. It's important to be aware of what you're thinking and where your energy is going, as well as what you're taking on from other people, because you could be unintentionally absorbing things and realizing this isn't mine. This isn't mine to deal with. This isn't mine to hold. This isn't even what I'm truly feeling. So with strong Scorpio, we have to stay in touch with what is truly ours, what is truly yours, Taurus, and what you are sensing and picking up in the environment, in what's around you, in other people's orbits or in their internal energy, or even and especially in their aura. So with this energy here of Team Scorpio, during this eclipse, you could realize where your energy has been overly concerned with other people, where your energy has gone out and now you're ready to call it back in to yourself, to strengthen, ground, center. You could have some understandings of even how you've grown in your psychic abilities, your intuition, your energetic awareness. This can be something also that you're moving through privately, you're working through, Scorpio being quite private. And there can be an energy here where you're ready to transition something that you want to let go of. And that's part of the Scorpio journey, is the clearing out. It's understanding I don't have to hold all this in order to feel powerful. I don't have to manage all this. I don't have to even dig in too deeply. The Scorpio energy goes below the surface. It goes into those darker caves, those hidden realms below the surface. And it learns to navigate with its intuition and energy. And then we have the simplification of Taurus, which is above ground. It's what you can see. It's what comes alive with all five senses. And there could be something here that you are recalibrating for yourself, where you understood, okay, what I'm done with, what I'm through with, but what you're working through. There is an intensity here. What you are working through that can be emotionally complex. Emotionally complex. How do I make this simple for myself? How do I make this clearer? How do I step away from anything that is really pulling me under? It's too heavy, it's too much, and I want to lessen the load here. And the Taurus energy can help you with that, to see it differently, to see it from a simplified perspective. And then this could be what activates the change that you're ready for. I feel there is a catalyst energy here of what you're ready to simplify and step away from, especially if you've realized you don't need it. It's no longer essential in your reality or on your path. You've already had that spiritual lesson. You've already been through that cycle. You're aware of things that you've chosen in the past. These energies are working favorably with the Saturn, where the sun, when the sun first entered Scorpio, it had an exact trine to Saturn at 0 degrees Pisces retrograde. It's still, the trine is still active, even as the sun moves further away. And then the moon is sextiling the Saturn. And so it feels like there's already something that you've come to terms with. And you've already understood, okay, right, got it. Went down that path, learned that lesson, had that experience. Now I'm back to zero with something, a new beginning point. And throughout 2023, we've had a lot of these, what I've called 0 point activations, where the planet comes back to 0 degrees, which is a point of pure potential. And so there could be something that you realized you're clearing out, you're simplifying it, you're honoring the emotional complexity of yourself. And that's important with Scorpio, because Scorpio, it will feel more than others. It will have more going on internally that is complicated at times, that can be a lot. And that is where there can be the spiral down and then the spiral back up. And it's working with the fullness of the emotional spectrum that actually provides a lot of wisdom. And I feel like there is a truth rising, an emotional truth rising. And this Saturn is holding, it's like holding guard, allowing that truth to rise, allowing that emotional awareness to rise so that you can understand what it really means to you now. So there can be an emotional process, something that you're understanding, you're seeing in a new light. You're seeing in the light of day. Taurus is day. Scorpio is night. So there could be something that you're understanding here that you just didn't see before, and it clicks. And then here's Jupiter wanting to help you grow from it, to learn from it, to apply that wisdom. And then Jupiter going back to 5 degrees in December and January amplifies it, which helps with the manifestation too of something being tangible and real. And that's also what Jupiter in the earth signs does, is it directly affects our everyday reality. And here in Taurus, your food, shelter, clothes, water, how you live your life, and then of course the creativity that comes up, where you want to make something more beautiful in your world. You want to feel that vibration of that peace, that harmony, that joy, even the calm. Taurus being calm, whereas Scorpio can be the storm, but both have value. Both are essential. And that's what's pretty cool about looking at the polarity between the astrology science, is that you can understand, okay, this is needed, because otherwise the Taurus energy can be too superficial. You know, they can care about just the car you drive or the brand names in your closet, or it can only look at things too simplistically. Whereas the Scorpio is like, okay, but what's the meaning? How do you really feel about that? Like, what's really happening in your internal world that you need to resolve or move through? And this is going to be something that shows you, perhaps, again, what you didn't see before, but it simplifies the energy. And so this Taurus energy is ruled by Venus. And we've been talking a lot about Venus since she was the ruler of the Libra solar eclipse. She's the ruler of the South Node, and we just had Libra season. Now this Venus at 18 degrees of Virgo, earlier she was in the trine with Jupiter, but Jupiter is retrograde, so Jupiter's moving away from Venus now. So that they're at a wide trine, 7 degrees, but she's approaching some kind of pivotal breakthrough with the trine to Uranus at 21. And this is important because after this Taurus lunar eclipse, we then have a Scorpio new moon at 21 degrees, directly opposing Uranus. So this Venus is going to be receiving some important downloads from Uranus that has been here before. So it's something that's already been, I'm seeing it in the crown chakra. It's interesting. I feel this energy going into the crown chakra and then to the third eye chakra and then back up. So it's almost like it's been circulating between parts of our energy fields, and then it lands with Venus when she gets to 21 degrees. And there's something here that is the fix. It's the fix, it's the solution. Venus in Virgo can be very healing. She's a healing guide that wants to improve something in your life, in your body, something that supports your healing, something that is good for your nervous system, because here's Uranus activating your nervous system, bringing up things that are chaotic, unexpected, I think about the instability of the financial market, prices rising, rent prices rising, all the things that are fluctuating here. This Venus is going to provide something that will work, that will help with next steps, that could even be something you really didn't see before. You didn't realize it before. And then it comes through during this Taurus lunar eclipse. I feel like there's a lot of positive energy with this eclipse because it's conjunct Jupiter and it's working favorably with Venus. I'm feeling again these solutions, like things that will work, will heal, will support you, will be there to give you next steps. And it's going to be practical, and it's going to be less because of how Venus and Virgo minimizes. And so it could be less than what you expected. With Jupiter is about expectations as well. Like, I expect it to look like this. I want it to be this big, or really appear like this, or be shiny and sparkly. And this Venus in Virgo, she's very practical. And she's like, well, it's going to be in denim, and it's going to fit you right, and it's going to have good wear and tear. It's like she's the very practical assessment of what is needed. So there's something favorable here in this chart that I feel is going to show us what is ready to come together, what is ready to take form, take shape, that works. And it could be something that, again, you're like, okay, maybe it was sitting right under my nose and I just didn't even connect the dots. And that's part of the simplicity as well of this Venus and Virgo. That she's also quite crafty. She makes things. She wants to use her skills to beautify, to improve, also to make things that are useful. She wants to make sure you find every Tupperware lid that you're looking for. She wants to organize the closets. This is a very much a doer. She's like, let's improve this. So what do you need to improve? What are you ready for in terms of a solution, a plan, something coming together? Because I feel like this Taurus lunar eclipse could do that. Could really show you some things that bring in a relief. Yeah. More of that, please. Also in this chart, Pluto is now direct, and Saturn will be stationing direct November 4th. And so all of that helps with forward motion and next steps. This conjunction is still pulling at me, so just stay aware of what is coming up that can also be not only triggering, but also like there can be resentment here. This is the energy of don't say everything you think. It's not going to be a good idea. It's going to get amplified and be potentially misunderstood or exaggerated. So work through this energy to purge out what you might be spinning in, especially if it's a fear. I mean, the Scorpio energy, it goes so deep that it can stir up the fears and not know how to rise above the fears, not know how to get out of that. And I feel like part of what this eclipse is meant to show you are the solutions, again, that are from a different perspective, but that help you detach from any emotional intensity if it's become too much. So overall, a lovely Taurus lunar eclipse as we close out the Taurus cycle. And I hope that it brings about some beautiful developments for you, especially when Jupiter gets back here and opens up this energy even more in December and January. And be sure to check out the 2024 Soul Growth Astrology program I did for you that tells you all about the eclipses of next year. But we also talk about this Pluto moving into Aquarius again. And it's my biggest presentation on Pluto in Aquarius. All the areas that will be impacted from 2024 until 2044. And of course, it's speculation in a way because we don't really know how it's going to play out. But I give you a heads up on some really big things that are coming down the pike here in 2024. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate your time, your energy, and thanks for sharing this video with others who will also benefit from it or be interested in how the astrology is working with them. I will see you back here soon.